Welcome to Friday Night SmackDown. We are officially 1 week away from the Royal Rumble, and tensions are already reaching a boiling point. Rivalries are intensifying. Ambitions are colliding. And tonight, the direction of SmackDown could change in an instant.
That's right, Cole. We have a loaded night ahead of us, a money-in-the-bank qualifier between these, for competitors fighting for one of the most dangerous opportunities in this business.
Cody Rhodes goes one-on-one with Kenny Omega. Bullet Club influence has haunted SmackDown for weeks, and after what happened last week, tonight Cody steps directly into that storm.
The WWE Impact Tag Team Championships will be defended tonight. The Hardy Boys make their season debut in a big way, challenging the Motor City Machine Guns in a match that could redefine this division.
And in our main event, Kevin Owens takes on Will Ospreay in a rematch for the Undisputed Championship. Unfinished business, raw emotion, and with Gunther circling, chaos is inevitable.
But before we get to any of that, we've been told the Queen has something on her mind tonight. Charlotte Flair is heading to the ring.
I'll be honest, I didn't come out here tonight looking for a fight. I came out here looking for an explanation. Last week, Becky Lynch didn't beat me. She didn't out-wrestle me. She didn't outthink me. She hit me with the chair and ran. That wasn't strategy. That was panic. Because Becky Lynch knows something she doesn't want to admit out loud. She knows when it's bell to bell. When there's nowhere to hide. When there's no excuses left. I am the true GOAT of women's wrestling. And instead of proving she is better than me, Becky chose to get herself disqualified. That tells me everything. So, Becky, if you're watching, and I know you are, stop running, stop swinging chairs, and face me like the champion you keep telling everyone you are. Charlotte. Still confused, are ya? You see, this is why you never saw it coming. You thought last week was about you. It wasn't. I didn't get disqualified because I was scared. I got disqualified because I'm smarter than you. You wanted a wrestling match. I wanted to send a message. Because here's the truth, Queen. I've beaten you before. I'll beat you again, but not on your terms. That chair shot? That wasn't panic. That was me reminding you that I control when this rivalry moves forward. You don't chase me anymore, Charlotte. I decide when you're worth my time. Enjoy standing in that ring, calling yourself the GOAT, because I don't have to call myself the GOAT. Other people sides it. Sport Illustrated sides it.
Enough! Enough talking about who used to be the best. Enough hiding behind chairs. Enough hiding behind legacies. Every time I step in this ring, I get closer. Closer to proving I belong. Closer to being something more. And every time, fall shorty. But I'm not breaking, I'm rebuilding. So, if this ring is where the best prove who they are, then stop talking. And let me fight. You want to rebuild, then prove you belong.
Are we doing this right now?
I think we are, Cole.
Charlotte Flair didn't come out here expecting a match tonight. She came out to settle unfinished business with Becky Lynch. And instead she's standing across from someone who looks like she's fighting for her entire identity.
That's the danger for Charlotte. Lyra Valkyria isn't chasing wins right now. She's chasing validation. And those are the most unpredictable competitors you'll ever face.
Lyra has taken loss after loss. But none of them have been easy. None of them have been excuses. Tonight feels different. There's a tension to her. like she knows this might be her last chance to prove she belongs in this conversation.
And Charlotte Flair lives in this conversation. She is the measuring stick. The problem for Lyra is that Charlotte doesn't lower herself to anyone, even when she respects them.
You can see Charlotte testing Lyra, not rushing, not panicking. She's forcing Lyra to show discipline, to show patience. This isn't just a fight, it's a lesson.
But Lyra isn't shrinking. Every time Charlotte asserts control, Lyra answers back with defiance. There's frustration there, sure, but there's also growth.
This crowd is starting to feel it. They see a woman who refuses to break, even when she's being pushed to her limit by one of the greatest of all time.
And that's where Becky Lynch looms over all of this. Becky didn't get disqualified because she was afraid. She got disqualified because she wanted control. She wanted chaos. Lyra doesn't have that luxury.
Charlotte senses that Lyra is getting desperate, and desperation against someone like Flair can be fatal.
Yet Lyra keeps pulling herself back into this fight. No shortcuts, no interference, just heart. That's why these losses hurt, and why they matter.
Charlotte is forcing Lyra to look in the mirror, to decide whether she's going to break under the pressure, or rise from it.
And Charlotte herself isn't leaving untouched. She's being pushed, challenged, made uncomfortable. That doesn't happen often.
This has turned into a statement match for both women. Charlotte proving why she's still the standard, Lyra proving she refuses to be forgotten. From the opening moments, you can feel the tension here. Charlotte Flair isn't rushing. Lyra Valkyria isn't either. This isn't about speed. It's about control.
Charlotte has always believed the ring bends to her will. Lyra's trying to prove it doesn't. That clash of belief systems is what's driving this. Lyra came out earlier sounding desperate. Not weak, but desperate to matter. That kind of emotion either sharpens you, or it burns you.
And Charlotte knows that. She's been that woman before. She's also been the one standing across from her, waiting for the mistake. Listen to the crowd here. They're split. Respect for Charlotte. Empathy for Lyra. That tells you everything you need to know about how this is unfolding.
Lyra isn't overmatched. She's overthinking. You can see her checking herself, questioning herself. Every second she's in there. Charlotte, meanwhile, looks almost irritated, not by Lyra, but by Becky Lynch, by the way last week ended, by unfinished business.
That frustration leaks into moments like this. Charlotte's wrestling through Lyra instead of against her. This is where experience shows up. Not in dominance, but in patience. Charlotte isn't trying to overwhelm. She's waiting.
And Lyra keeps stepping forward anyway. She refuses to back down, even when it might be smarter to reset. That refusal is pride. Pride is dangerous when you're still rebuilding. but it's also necessary. Without it, Lyra's just another name on the roster.
Charlotte just took a moment there, looked at Lyra, shook her head, almost disappointed. She sees someone with the talent to belong, and the instability to ruin it. Lyra's not asking for permission anymore. She's forcing Charlotte to acknowledge her, and Charlotte hates being forced into anything.
This match has slowed the entire building down. Nobody's chanting. Nobody's distracted. They're watching. Lyra has absorbed loss after loss. All clean, all competitive. At some point, that becomes heavier than defeat.
It becomes identity, and she's fighting that right now. Charlotte's confidence never wavers, but there's something else there tonight. Awareness. She knows Becky's watching. She knows Lyra's watching. She knows the division is watching.
And Lyra's refusing to let this be another moral victory. She wants something tangible, something that says she belongs in the same sentence.
This is where Charlotte starts turning the screws. Not physically, but mentally. She's testing Lyra's resolve, seeing how she reacts when things don't go her way.
Lyra kick out with defiance, with urgency, almost recklessness.
You can feel the match tilting now. Not because Charlotte is dominating, but because Lyra is exhausting herself emotionally. She's carrying too much. Expectations, losses, comparisons, Becky. Charlotte, it adds up.
This is no longer about winning. It's about surviving the moment.
And that's where champions live. Lyra is fighting the match she wants. Charlotte is fighting the match she needs. Charlotte closes this with authority. Not cruelty, not arrogance. Authority. Lyra tried to stay down longer than she did. But once Charlotte locks in, there's nothing you can do.
She didn't fail tonight, but she didn't succeed either, and sometimes that hurts worse. This story is far from over.
Lyra's pushing herself up, refusing help again. She won't let this loss define her, but it's clearly shaping her.
She's standing at the edge of something, growth or collapse, and she doesn't know which way she's leaning. Charlotte remains the measuring stick, Becky remains the instigator, and Lyra remains caught between them.
That's how rivalries evolve. Someone else gets pulled into the gravity. Becky Lynch thinks she's in control of this division, but nights like this prove control is an illusion.
Because Lyra isn't going away, she's getting louder, more reckless, more dangerous. And Charlotte Flair just learned that winning doesn't mean escaping. It just means surviving another chapter.
3 women, 3 egos, one division that's starting to crack under the pressure. And while that story continues to simmer, we need to shift gears.
Earlier tonight, Jon Moxley made his presence felt, and tensions backstage have been rising all night. Let's take you to what happened moments ago.
Funny thing about chaos. It doesn't knock, it doesn't ask. It just shows up and starts taking space. Everybody keeps talking about injuries like they're accidents, like they just happened. Andy Reid, Ramon Reigns, Kota Ibushi. Others sitting at home watching this place move on without them. That's not coincidence. That's pressure. This locker room's been comfortable for too long. I'm just a reminder that comfort gets you hurt. And now, I'm not waiting around bored, so I don't need to qualify. I don't need approval. I saw Bronson Reed skip qualifying and declare himself this past episode of Raw. So with that being said, I'm in the Royal Rumble. So Adam, Nick, Ava, I know you're listening to this somewhere. And when 30 men hit that ring, this place is going to learn real quick who survives chaos and who gets erased by it.
John, nobody's denying what you are, but don't start believing your own hype. You didn't break the system. You didn't expose the locker room. You just made a lot of enemies. And unlike you, I don't hide behind speeches. Next episode of Raw, for one night only. 1 man from Monday Night Raw, 1 man from NXT, 1 man from here on SmackDown, Wepa Triple Threat, 1 spot, the go-home show. I qualify for the Royal Rumble. And when I punch my ticket, I'm personally eliminating you from the Royal Rumble. No chaos. No excuses. Just me throwing you out.
Good, because I don't want it the easy way. I want someone who actually believes they can stop me. Maybe I'll see you in the chaos. You know, if you qualify. If.
Jon Moxley has officially put the entire locker room on notice. The Royal Rumble just became more dangerous.
Moxley can talk all he wants. First, I qualify next week, and then at the Royal Rumble, I personally throw him out.
And next week on Raw, Damian Priest gets his chance. A one-night only triple threat qualifier. 1 opponent from Monday Night Raw, and 1 from NXT. Survival won't be optional.
But right now, we move on. The road to the Royal Rumble continues and the stakes keep getting higher.
This is one of those matches where careers can change in a single night, for men. One Royal Rumble spot, and very different reasons for wanting it.
Look at this lineup. Cole, a returning monster in Rusev, a future cornerstone in Ethan Page, a debut that's been talked about all week in Oba Femi, and then there's AJ Styles.
AJ Styles doesn't need introductions, but he might need allies tonight.
Or maybe he needs clarity, because ever since Judgment Day's presence has hovered around him, the question hasn't been can AJ win, it's how he's willing to win.
You can feel it shift the moment Oba Femi asserts himself.
This is not a normal debut, Cole. WWE doesn't advertise you for a week unless they believe you're different. Power, composure, and zero hesitation. He reminds me of a young Brock Lesnar. Not just strength, but certainty. Oba Femi moves like he belongs here, and everyone else feels it.
Rusev looks reborn. This is a man who's waited for this moment.
Destined for greatness, Cole. That's not hype, that's trajectory, and Ethan Page isn't overwhelmed.
No, he's learning. That's dangerous. Ethan Page is the future. But nights like this accelerate futures. Everyone's adapting. Except AJ Styles.
Because AJ already knows who he is.
Finn Bálor and JD McDonagh watching closely. They haven't interfered. They haven't spoken. But their eyes haven't left AJ. This goes back to comments made on Raw. Dominic Mysterio questioning where AJ truly stands.
And Dom's been running his mouth a lot lately for someone who's got targets from every locker room.
Styles rolls to the floor, and this match just became chaos. Watch EJ. He's not frustrated. He's calculating. EJ Styles is staring directly at Finn Bálor.
And look at that gesture. Styles is asking for it.
Not asking, inviting. Finn Bálor just stepped forward. This is the line. Once you cross it, there's no pretending anymore.
JD McDonagh too. And now they're in the ring. They're not wearing colors. They're not making declarations. They're just influencing. This qualifier just turned into something else entirely.
This is the trial by fire. Oba Femi refusing to back down. And that's why he's special. This is his first match, and he's staring down chaos like it's destiny. Rusev fighting through it.
Because Rusev doesn't fade, he survives. Ethan Page taking punishment, but still thinking, that's growth.
Styles with the roll-up. He got him. AJ Styles qualifies for the Royal Rumble.
Oba Femi didn't lose credibility tonight. He gained it.
Rusev reminded everyone why his return matters.
Ethan Page showed he belongs in this conversation, and AJ Styles may have just changed his path.
Bálor and JD McDonagh didn't celebrate. They didn't pose. They watched.
And that's worse. AJ Styles is going to the Royal Rumble. But after tonight, the Bullet Club conversation, the Judgment Day conversation, it just got louder.
Earlier tonight, I announced that Jay White is banned from the arena after his involvement in last week's attack. But banning Jay White doesn't erase the damage Bullet Club has already done.
Wait a minute. That's Colton Gunn. We haven't seen him since episode 2, since his brother was taken out.
Adam, Uncensored was supposed to be ours. Me and my brother earned the WWE Impact Tag Team Championship match. And Bullet Club took it. Kenny Omega put Austin Gunn out, indefinitely. Threw him onto that lighting rig like he was disposable. So no, I'm not here asking for opportunities. I'm here because somebody owes me.
And now Carmelo Hayes, another man Bullet Club has made enemies of.
Colton, what happened to your brother? That was brutal. But Jay White didn't just cross a line 2 weeks ago. No, last week he crossed that line again. He jumped Trick Williams, my brother, my partner, and everybody back there knows why it happened, because Kenny Omega gave the order. Jay White's the one who swung, but Kenny's the one pulling strings. That's how Bullet Club works. Kenny doesn't get his hands dirty. He just decides who bleeds.
Kenny Omega put my brother on the shelf. And Jay White made sure he stayed there. So don't get it twisted. This isn't random.
Kenny Omega may be calling shots, but Jay White will be answering for them. Next week, Jay White versus Carmelo Hayes versus Colton Gunn.
Jay White thinks he's Bullet Club's sword. Next week, he finds out what happens when the sword takes the fall for the man holding it.
And Kenny Omega. His ass going to have to watch.
Jay White is about to pay for orders he didn't give.
And Kenny Omega just made himself the most dangerous man on SmackDown.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
What just unfolded on that stage tells you everything you need to know about the climate on SmackDown right now. Kenny Omega doesn't have to speak to control the room. He creates chaos, lets others fight over it, and then he profits.
This match wasn't made to headline social media. It was made to answer a question. Is Cody Rhodes still the soul of this place? Or is Kenny Omega the man who's already taken control of it?
Cody Rhodes represents something different. He represents resistance, and resistance usually gets crushed. These two aren't rushing. This is a conversation between philosophies. Kenny's testing Cody, feeling where the cracks are. Cody is fighting like this is personal.
It is personal. Bullet Club didn't just target Trick Williams. They didn't just injure Austin Gunn. They're targeting the idea that SmackDown belongs to anyone but them.
And Cody's been very clear. He's not joining. He's not bending.
Which is why he's dangerous, and why he's expendable. Kenny Omega looks calm, almost detached. That's the scariest version. He doesn't need Jay White here. He doesn't need backup.
He knows the storm he's already started. Every time Cody rallies, this building comes alive.
And every time Kenny shuts it down, you can feel the air leave the room. Cody isn't just fighting Kenny Omega. He's fighting inevitability.
Finn Balor hasn't said yes. AJ Styles hasn't committed. Judgment Day is circling. Bullet Club is expanding. Cody Rhodes is standing in the middle of it all.
Standing alone.
Wait a minute, Finn Balor.
And there it is. Cody just turned his head, and that's all it takes.
Finn Balor never said yes, but he never said no either. This is the gray area. This is where Bullet Club and Judgment Day overlap.
Cody's looked toward the stage, and no one was there.
That's the point. Kenny Omega saw it immediately. Because Kenny Omega doesn't need Finn Balor in the ring. He just needs him present. Cody fought through chaos tonight, but chaos won. Kenny Omega steals it.
No, he engineered it. Finn Balor never appeared, but his presence changed everything. And that's exactly what Dominic Mysterio was talking about on Raw.
Dom said his loyalty follows Finn. Tonight Finn showed he doesn't need to choose sides to tip the scales. Cody Rhodes stood tall against Kenny Omega, until the mind games started. This wasn't about Cody. This was a warning to everyone headed toward the Royal Rumble.
And that's the danger this time of year. Cole, one distraction, one moment of hesitation, and your Royal Rumble dream starts cracking. Everyone's watching everyone right now. Allies, rivals, legends, all circling the same prize.
And backstage, 3 former world champions are doing exactly that, sizing each other up. Let's take you behind the curtain.
Funny thing about Royal Rumble season. Everybody suddenly remembers who they think they are.
Or who they're afraid they're not.
See, that's the problem right there. Everybody wants to talk about survival, luck, momentum. But nobody wants to talk about standards anymore.
Standards according to who?
According to the people who built this place. According to the ones who didn't need chaos to get noticed.
I didn't survive everything I survived to be talked down to like I borrowed my spot.
Relax. Neither one of you owns January yet. You want that World Championship back. I respect that. And you want the Rumble to mean something again. Fair. But the Rumble doesn't care what any of us want.
That's easy for you to say. You've already won it. Twice.
And I'll do it again if I feel like it.
That's the difference between us. I need this, not for headlines, not for legacy speeches, for me.
And that desperation, that's why you won't last.
You keep mistaking hunger for weakness.
Here's what's gonna happen. One of you is gonna get emotional. One of you is gonna make a mistake. And I'll still be standing.
Fine. May the best man win.
Just remember who warned you.
You really think you're untouchable?
No, I just think you're predictable. Mr. Architect.
The following is a tag team match set for one fall and is for the WWE Impact World Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 461 pounds, Jeff Harvey and Matt Harvey. And their opponents at a combined weight of 420 pounds, the WWE Impact World Tag Team Champions, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns.
This has been building quietly for weeks. We haven't seen the Motor City Machine Gun since episode 2. The night they blindsided the Gun Brothers. The night everything spiraled.
And then the Bullet Club attack changed the entire landscape. The scheduled title defense never happened. Questions lingered. Doubt lingered. Tonight, the Machine Guns finally answered those questions.
This is their first match of the season. But don't mistake absence for rust. These to help define what modern tag team wrestling looks like.
And standing across from them, the Hardy Boys. Back on WWE television. Back from TNA. First match of the season. First chance to remind everyone that eras don't end just because people want them to. You can feel it. This isn't about nostalgia. This is about relevance. The Hardys know the whispers. That the game passed them by. That the division evolved without them.
And the Machine Guns know something too, that this division has been unstable. Champions without challengers. Matches erased before they happen. Tonight is about restoring order. Motor City built their legacy on timing, chemistry, and trust. But when you're champions who haven't defended yet this season, pressure creeps in. The Hardys thrive in that pressure. They've lived their careers with chaos at their heels.
And what makes this fascinating is the contrast. The Hardys are emotion, instinct, survival. The Machine Guns are structure, discipline, precision. This match feels like a referendum on tag wrestling itself. Where does the future truly live?
And don't forget, the Gun Brothers were supposed to be standing here. That door closed violently. Now the Hardys walk through it instead. That cancelled defense hangs over this entire contest. For MCMG, this is about legitimacy, proving they didn't dodge anything.
And for the Hardys, it's opportunity. You don't get many first nights back that come with gold on the line.
You can see the respect, but you can also see caution. Nobody wants to be the one who blinks first.
Because one mistake doesn't just cost a match, it rewrites the narrative. especially this close to the Royal Rumble. The crowd understands that. They're not here to be loud for a moment. They're here to witness something.
Motor City has waited weeks to step back into this spotlight. You don't survive that long in this business without believing you belong here. And the Hardys, they've been told they're done more times than they can count. Every return is personal. This is wrestling at its purest. Two teams trying to prove their era still matters. And regardless of who walks out with the titles, this division just woke up.
No chaos, no outside interference, just tag team wrestling at the highest level.
And sometimes, that's the most dangerous thing of all. Tonight isn't about the past. It's about who carries this division forward. And whoever wins, they won't just be champions. They'll be the standard.
What a statement for the first time this season. The Impact Tag Team Championships feel grounded again, and every team in the back just took notes, because the bar has officially been raised.
The Hardy Boys are back, and they're back on top. Years away. Worlds traveled, darts stacked against them, and still, when the moment demands it, they deliver.
This wasn't nostalgia. This was survival. This was instinct. This was two men who refused to let their legacy fade. The tag team division just felt a shift. New champions, new pressure, and every team in that locker room just got put on notice.
If this is the tone being set tonight, imagine what waits in the main event. SmackDown rolls on, and after everything we've seen, the stakes are only getting higher.
Introducing the challenger. From England, weighing in at 231 pounds, Will Q. Spirit. And his opponent, from Marieville, Quebec, Canada, weighing in at 266 pounds, the WWE Undisputed World Champion, Kevin Owens!
This rematch exists because Uncensored didn't give us closure. It gave us controversy. Kevin Owens left with the Undisputed Championship, but Will Ospreay left with something far heavier: doubt, anger, and unfinished business.
And that doubt is dangerous, Cole, because Ospreay isn't just fighting for a title tonight. He's fighting to prove that Uncensored wasn't the night his destiny slipped through his fingers. Ospreay hasn't said much since that night, but you can see it in his eyes. He hasn't moved on. He can't move on.
And how could he? He had Owens beaten. Then the referee went down. The chair came into play, and suddenly Kevin Owens walked out a hero while Will Ospreay was left questioning everything. Kevin Owens, meanwhile, looks completely at ease. Champion's posture, champion's confidence. He's carrying himself like a man who believes the past doesn't matter once your hand is raised.
That's Kevin Owens in a nutshell. He doesn't apologize for how he wins. He just wins. And yet, there's a presence at ringside that neither of these men can ignore. Gunther hasn't moved. He hasn't leaned on the barricade. He's sitting there watching like a judge waiting to deliver a sentence.
This is the same Gunther Ospreay defeated back in episode 1 to earn his shot at Uncensored. And Gunther does not forget. Gunther remembers everything. Ospreay keeps glancing toward ringside, trying not to, but he can't help it. You don't ignore a man like Gunther when he's that close.
And that's the real problem here. Kevin Owens only has to worry about the man in front of him. Will Ospreay has to worry about the past, and the future standing 10 feet away. Ospreay is wrestling with urgency now. Not recklessness, but desperation. Like he knows time isn't on his side. He's trying to prove something quickly. That's never a good idea against Kevin Owens.
Owens, on the other hand, is slowing this down. He's comfortable. He's methodical. He's reminding Ospreay that championships don't reward emotion. They punish it, and Gunther hasn't moved an inch. No commentary from him. No reaction. Just watching. This match feels less like a rematch and more like a trial. Ospreay is fighting like a man who knows the verdict might already be written.
Enough. Gunther, you don't get to decide finishes around here. You don't get to walk into a championship rematch and rewrite the rules with your fists. So here's how this ends. Next episode. The go-home show to the Royal Rumble. It's Gunther versus Will Ospreay. One last time. To #1 contenders. No excuses. And because things keep getting personal, Kevin Owens will be the special guest referee. You want control, Gunther? You want chaos? Will? Settle it next week. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.